Greetings, beloved Princeton United Methodist Church community. It's Pastor Jenny here with an update for you, and I'm reading from Luke chapter 11, verse 1. Jesus was praying in a certain place, and after he had finished, one of his disciples said to him, "Lord, teach us to pray, as John taught his disciples." This is the word of life. Thanks be to God. I wonder who taught you to pray. Where did you learn the art, the practice of prayer? What did that entail? I imagine if you grew up in church, you learned a particular posture of how to pray. Probably you put your hands together, you bow your head, you close your eyes. I imagine that if you grew up in church or in a family that said grace together around the dinner table, you learned certain prayers that you said together and shared. You probably learned the Lord's Prayer somewhere along the way. I wonder who it is that taught you how to pray. I wonder if you've ever asked what the disciples ask. Lord, or someone, will you teach me how to pray? I wonder too if your prayer life, your prayer practices, the way you pray has changed over the years. It's possible that no one has ever taught you how to pray, or not explicitly so. Maybe you've learned implicitly by being at church or walking alongside somebody who is a prayer. Maybe prayer is elusive to you and you aren't quite sure what to do or what to say or how to do it. Maybe you have felt like you've kind of know what to do to pray or how to pray or maybe it doesn't feel like you are truly a student of prayer. Should that be something you would like to be? One of the membership vows that we have in the United Methodist Church involves prayer to uphold this church and the United Methodist Church with our prayers. It's the very first one of the 5 things that are listed as we promise to do as members. We uphold the church with our prayers, our presence, our gifts, our service, and our witness. And prayer is that first one. I wonder, could I ask you to pray for the church? Maybe it's always part of your prayer, but maybe it's something that you forget to do. Maybe you are so hoping that the church is praying for you that we forget that we need to pray for the church too. I need to pray for the church, but also I, as part of the church, need your prayers too. We need prayers for the ways that we can be faithful to be God's people, God's faithful, beloved community. Prayers for our leaders, prayers for all those who aren't yet in our congregation or part of our congregation yet. But even more, I think prayer is a relationship, and that when we have a relationship with God that encompasses all this that we call prayer, I just think is a relationship. When we have a relationship with God, or a dialogical a relationship where we talk and we listen, we are with God as well as God being with us. And sometimes it's even wordless. When we are all in this space of relationship with God, it does something amazing for us our whole community as the church. And as we pray for and with one another, as we pray for the church and ask the church to pray for us, as we develop our relationship with God, each one of us, we also develop it together. And I think this is very much what the disciples discovered, that there was something, this richness in a life of prayer, in knowing some of the ways of praying, but also what it is to be a community steeped in prayer. Jesus certainly is one to teach us how to pray, not only the words of the Lord's Prayer, but also what it kind of looks like when we pray. How does God respond to us? We're going to be talking more about this on Sunday. But Jesus is also an example to us, a teacher for us, as Jesus goes away to a quiet place and prays from time to time too, pretty regularly, in fact. So how do you pray? What is your prayer life like? Who taught you to pray? Who would you like to ask to teach you to pray, or to invite you into a more deep prayer relationship? who can you teach to pray as well? Maybe there's someone who is stirring around you who would like to learn from you about prayer. I commend all these thoughts, all these questions to you this week as we look on Sunday at the Lord's Prayer. We're going to be in Luke for the rest of the summer, and I hope you'll dive in with us. Blessings to you all. See you soon. As always, it is so good to be on this journey with you. Remember that you are enough because God is enough. You are created for joy, and you are invited to dance the sacred dance of life. Peace be with you.